Hello. I want to see if I couldn't help some people out just starting out with setting your clutch up, your disc and fibers on the Gen 2 clutch. It's told to you, but I ain't never seen nobody make a video or show how to do this stuff, or at least some of the things that I do. Little things that might help somebody out. That way, you know, it's gonna take forever and get frustrated and all that other crap getting these things going sometimes. See if I couldn't, like I said, help somebody out. But anyway, when I open these clutches up, you're gonna need two of them. Buy two of these suckers, 3 or 4, how many of you can afford, because you're gonna go through them. But you know, you're gonna need one more fiber than what comes with it. You know, as soon as you open this sucker up, it's gonna have 10 friction, but you're gonna take 2 of them out. You're gonna take this big fat one right here out, and you're going to take this other fat one that's for your cushion ring, goes in the very back. Yeah, you might use this one right here later, but this one right here you won't use it all. You know, that's just something you can try to throw across the room to see how talented you are. But you know, put them to the side, and then you're going to need one more fiber from your old clutch. Like I said, buy 2 kits. You're going to have to steal one from somewhere to get this clutch stack for a hayabusa anyway. 1.717 is what they're recommending on that. But anyway, you're going to end up with 9 fibers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 total. And then you're going to take all your steels. When you get these steels, you're going to end up with 10 frictions. I'm sorry, 9 steels. But 2 of those steels are going to be fat boys, a little bit thicker than the others. Around 1.150, something like that. But anyway, a little fatter than the others. But you're going to take one of those fat boys out, and that's going to leave you with 8 steels. So that's going to be a good setup. That's going to be right there, close to that number you're looking for. As soon as I open these fibers, first thing I do is I take a die cam marker, something, and mark one side of that. You know, even the service manual tells you to keep these things in order, but you know, after hearing some of this stuff that I've heard over the years from these old heads, you know, you know, it's hard to get out of your brain sometimes, you know, and consistency in racing's, you know, up there in the top anyway, you need to be doing. So I mark these right here just to show my direction, and I'm pulling these things out if one of them gets turned or something like that, or you know, I switch these things out sometimes, thicker, thinner, stuff like that, to try to get my stack height for sure. But you're going to end up with 9 of these fibers right here, 8 steels, and also if you'll notice on these steels, one edge is rounded and one is sharp, and you want to keep the sharp edge out, pointed towards the outside. And theory behind this is the oil comes out over the smooth part easy, but maybe a little bit harder to go back in, or maybe restrained from going back in on the sharp edge. It's just some old heads told me this mess right here. So I always keep the sharp edge out, make it a little harder. I want to try to keep as much oil out as you can, you know, to saturate these things right here. You know what? I'm sure there ain't no proof in that, but once you hear that crap, you know, it's in my head, and you know, here we are. So, but anyway, 9 fibers, 8 steels, and you're trying to get this stack height. So you should look something like this. Like I said, add that old one in there from somewhere, and try to get the same thickness as a new one. You know, so these new ones are, in fact, I wrote it down. Right here we are. You know, there's your small fiber. That's what your new ones come with, and your larges, and that's the limit that they'll allow for. But you know, one of the problems is when you start using these things and you get to that limit, what you're going to find out is there's crap all in this stuff. When you spin these things and they start burning, you know, you're going to see the crap like there. You know, the problem with using some of these are, you know, if you don't get this out, it's going to get in that basket, and you start taking these hats off, it's going to look like somebody threw up black beans. And you're gonna have to clean it out. You know, it gets in your oil, gets in your filter, and get in that strainer. You know, some of these things start falling apart. You know, so you're gonna have to get it out. And I ain't telling you how to get it out. You know, I'm in the middle of trying everything I can to clean these things without tearing these fibers up. But you know, I do use a brush. But you know, if you want to try a chemical, you go right ahead. But you know, the more you rub these things, the more they're going to come apart anyway. So You know, it ain't, you know, you do it at your own risk. I ain't recommending nothing. I've talked to some knowledgeable people, and when they talk about it, the first thing they say is, you know, don't take my word for it. You know, this is just what I've heard. So, you know, but, you know, want to try to get another fiber the same thickness. So that's what I have here. It's used, but it's still the same as, I think, 0.119, I believe, is our number too, on these. Yeah, 0.19 right there. So, and of course, you're going to stack these things. The manual tells you to, but you're going to stack these things in this order. I'll do it right quick for you to show you these numbers that I'm getting. You know, like I said, they talk about clutch stack or stack height and all that other mess. And you know, if you ain't never done it before, you might make a handful of phone calls, or might feel stupid or something like that. You know, I never try to feel stupid. You know, everybody's got to learn. Ain't nobody born with this crap right here. You know, the more you run it, more you get used to. But you're trying to find this 1.719, and that should be, like I said, all small steels except for one, and all fibers are the same. You're trying to get this stack height. Look at there. And that's all new steels and fibers. It's a brand new clutch right here. You know, it's $150, $160. You get used to that. You know, you're close on that. So, you know, that's what these things gonna look like right here. And that's just gonna go right in that inner basket. Now you fit it on just like a regular clutch, but in that, you know, that way, you know, your stock clutch don't use that, but you gotta see your directions and all. I'll make another video of putting these bad boys in and oiling them and stuff like that, you know, saturating that oil. One thing, you know, I do get a little paranoid about this junk, trying to find that perfect height. That's what I do is, you know, I always think about, you know, is that thing hitting these fibers, this and that, and different numbers. You know, call me crazy, but what I started doing when I'm measuring these things with my calipers, I'll take these two and turn them around the way two steels are on the outside. And you know, I'm afraid it might pinch my skin a little bit. You know, you get maybe a millionth off or something because your skin in there, because I'm crazy like that. But I started, when I'm stacking these things, because I put 2, 3, 4 of them together before you go to the track. You know, that way you have them ready, and you ain't got to try to put these things together. I'll still take some extras ones, but you got 3 or 4 clutches together, you can just throw in there, but keep them from pinching my skin or something like that. And I like to take a little rod like that, line these things up. I said, call me crazy, but you're gonna come up with the same number. But like I said, at least you know there ain't no resistance on there. You know, and measure it like that. Look at that perfect number right there. Like I said, you ain't always got to go on that number. You need to start moving that around. But you starting out, start like that. You know, look at there, you get a little different number. You move around. But always be consistent. However you're measuring, I like to measure like that. And I'll take it and move around 2 or 3 times, because what you're gonna find is you need to make sure these steels ain't warped after you start using some of these things up. It, like I said, it'll mess you all up. Wonder why you ain't getting the same numbers, and just keep on. I go around 2 or 3 times, but you know, with a new clutch, it's beautiful because you ain't got to worry about warped steels, and your clutch is wearing more on the core of the side than the other, you know, a lot less. So that right there is your perfect clutch. All we got to do now is oil these things. And what I do, and I know some of them like to sit your whole thing in oil and all that, but me being a tight wad like that, what I do is I got a little bucket I cut down, and I'll put these, this is a brand new clutch too. We're getting ready for the season, but I put these fibers in here, and I'll take, I don't know, you know, a cup of oil or something, stick it in there. I don't fill it all up there because you're wasting oil, because after you put this oil in here, you'll see trash and stuff in here, and I ain't wanting to pour that, you know, back in my case or waste it at that more than I have to. So I'll just put a you know, cup of oil or something, whatever it is in there, and I'll leave this sucker on the side, and what it'll do is just saturate in there, and the oil will come up, it'll go down. You know, just because it's in the bottom don't mean it won't get the top, but you'll find out. And I'll leave it there a few minutes, 5-10 minutes or something, while I'm doing something, and I'll come move it around, and you'll see that it won't get the front side of it, but it will suck up, and you know, you save a little bit of oil. But I'll get a handful of these ready, like this right here with these steels. That'll be another clutch stack. I just made one. Here's the one right here. Should be another brand new clutch. This is how I do it right here. You'll see the steels on the outside where I measured them, but I'll get them oiled up, put them in a baggie like that right there, and they'll be ready to go at the track. You know it. Like I said, for these new guys, these old heads, I'm sure they got 5 or 10 clutches up and ready to go, but I'm here using some of my old steels and stuff. You see, that's old steel. what I do is these things will turn black on you like this. The first thing you got to do is make sure they ain't warped, and the best way that I've seen, because you know, you get your flat steel plate, filler gauge, and all that crap. But one of the quick ways to do it is I like to take these brand new steels. You know they're flat, and I'll take these discs, and I'll go down 2 or 3 discs, and I'll hold them up to a light. I know this is, you know, make fun of me if you want, but you can hold them up to a light. You probably can't see it there, but I can already see it here. There's a gap right here. So the problem is, if you do all these together, a bunch of warped discs, you might have a gap here, here, and all left. You don't know which one's warped. You keep moving around, but you got these new clutches, these new discs. They're all flat, so you know if this thing ain't, if there's a gap, that's the problem. That right there. And just throw these things away. They are disposable. You know, get rid of them, because they'll cause you a lot of headache, wondering why you're not consistent with what you're doing. But you know, you get 8 of these things, so you know, put your one there, put your one here, or something like that. So if you see some gaps, you see a gap, don't even sweat it, because you're gonna go through these clutches. Put that thing to the side. But anyway, when you get all these steels that you want, start making your new clutches up from your old disc, you know, they'll turn black and all that mess, and you can clean them. What I do is I take a little wire brush like this on a hard flat surface, and I'll just take this wire brush and I'll get all that out. Still a lot of oil in there, but I'll do that till they're shiny, and you get rid of this. I take a basket with another bucket with some gasoline, really soak that stuff in there, try to get that oil out of there, and I'll just scrub it down a little bit, and then I'll take a rag and wipe them down. You'd be surprised how much oil is still on there. But that's how I clean it and get your old steels going on. And I come to these old fibers, you know, like I said, they're tolerances, but you get dirt in these things. But sometimes your clutch stack ain't going to be perfect. It's going to be 1.723, you know it. Or you might use one of these big fibers or something like that, you know it, and you're going to have to negotiate big steels and fibers. But here's what I started doing: 8 steels, 9 fibers. This small steel and large steel, this is what these things measure, the difference in them. So when I'm stacking and I'm saying, hey, there's a difference there, I know if I want to switch a steel out, whatever number I got, if I take a small steel out, I can add 13 to it if I'm going to put a large steel in there. So if I add 13 to my number, if it comes up where I want, I say, hey, I can just take a small steel out, put a large in, and there I got my number close to it. I might get, you know, 3 thousandths over, and then hey, I can just take a clutch fiber that's 3 thousand less. You know, these things measure 19 new, or somewhere 20 around there. 19 right there, and you just start going through maybe some of your old ones, hopefully the clean ones too. You know, you go to 14 right there, and that's still well within tolerance of was it 0.103, well within tolerance. You know it. So you got 5 thousandths right there. If you need, you know, come down, I don't use that one, but you know, if you need to come down 5 thousandths, you just slip an old disc in there, you know it. So you can use a big steel and an old disc and still come up with your number. Just, you know, like I said, that's at your own risk, that dirt crap. So, but if that helped anybody out, so I said maybe it helped out. Hope it did. This stuff, like I said, nobody told me about. I just, you know, I've got, you know, how many of clutches here you see. I just do this crap and try to figure out what makes my life easier. So let me know what you think.